Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready to tackle a challenge we all face, staying motivated when things get tough.
Ugh, tell me about it. Sometimes it feels impossible.
I feel ya. But we've got some awesome sources to unpack this. We've got advice from the Forbes Coaches Council, a blog post on good life goals.
Oh, I love that blog.
Right, super insightful. And for a different spin, we've even got a Reddit thread specifically for those strategic ENTJ personality types.
Oh, that's interesting. ENTJs. Always thinking 10 steps ahead.
Exactly. We'll pull out actionable strategies from all these different perspectives so you can actually, apply what we learn, not just, listen and forget.
Love that.
Oh, and just to pique your curiosity, we'll uncover a surprising connection between, get this, a best-selling self-help book and savvy real estate investing.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
I know, right? All right, let's dive in. So first things first, why IS motivation is so important?
Yeah.
It's more than just feeling good, right?
Totally. It's about pushing yourself towards something even when it's hard.
And our sources seem to agree on this one. They're saying it's essential for well-being and success, especially during those tough times. Almost like a survival tool.
Yeah, that Good Life Goals blog post had a great point. It said pain and hardship, they're universal experiences, like everyone goes through them. But what separates those who just endure from those who actually thrive?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. And it comes down to that ability to stay motivated, even when you're facing challenges. It's not about avoiding the hard stuff. It's about having the drive to push through it.
You go, girl. And thankfully, these sources don't just tell us to grin and bear it, right? They give us tools to not just endure, but actually thrive in those challenging times. Okay, so how do we shift our perspective to stay motivated when things get tough?
The Good Life Goals blog post, they have this great analogy. It's about personal growth, but
Yeah.
it's like, wait for it. Content marketing.
Really? That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that connection. I know, right? It's kind of out there, but it makes sense. Basically, it says you're going to hit roadblocks, both in content marketing and personal growth. This is just part of the process,
I see, yeah. Makes sense.
It's like you can't expect everything to be smooth sailing, right? There will be times when you feel stuck, frustrated, maybe even want to give up on whatever goal you're working towards. But that's not like a sign that you're doing anything wrong. It's part of the journey.
Exactly. It's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself, you're growing, getting outside your comfort zone.
Which can be scary sometimes.
For sure. But the key is to see those challenges as opportunities for growth instead of obstacles to fear. Like, oh, good, a challenge, time to learn something new.
I love that. That's the spirit. And that ties in perfectly with what Good Life Goals had to say about the power of positivity. It's not just about, feeling good. It's backed by research. Like a positive outlook actually helps us see solutions instead of getting, bogged down by the problem.
Oh, 100%. I've seen that in my own life.
Same here. It's like focusing on what we can control instead of dwelling on the things we can't.
Right. Because if you're constantly focused on the negative, it's going to be way harder to find a way forward. So we've talked about the importance of mindset, but what about practical strategies? What are some actionable takeaways from these sources?
Let's get into that. I'm all about action, right? One of the most practical tips, this one's from the Forbes Coaches Council, is understanding the root cause of your demotivation. It's like you're going along, you're feeling great, making progress, and then bam.
You hit a wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something shifts. You lose your mojo. But why?
The Forbes Coaches Council, they suggest taking the time to actually pinpoint WHY that happened. Think back to when you first started feeling differently. Was it after a specific conversation? Did something change in your routine and the work itself? Did a project get derailed? Did someone new join the team and shift the dynamics? Sometimes just understanding the source of the problem can help you move forward.
It's like having that light bulb moment.
Oh.
You finally identify the source of the problem.
Exactly. And once you understand the root cause, you can start brainstorming solutions. Is it something within your control, something you can change or influence, or is it something you just need to accept and figure out how to work around?
Good points. Okay, here's a tip from both the Forbes Coaches Council and the Good Life Goals. Write down your goals.
It sounds simple.
I know, right? Super basic. But they're both saying it can be a total game changer.
I can see that. I'm a big list person myself.
Yeah, me too. And there's something about putting it down on paper.
It's like you're making it real.
Yes. It's not just floating around in your head anymore. It's tangible, achievable. You've taken that first step, which, let's be real, is sometimes the hardest part.
It really is. It's like you're making a contract with yourself, And breaking down a big goal into smaller steps that can make it feel way less daunting.
I actually tried this a while back. I had this huge EE goal. It felt so overwhelming, honestly. Like, it was just paralyzing. But once I wrote it down and, like, broke it down into smaller steps, it suddenly felt so much more manageable.
It's classic for a reason. It works.
Hmm.
What also helps is making a detailed action plan. And this is key, sticking to it. That's where the rubber meets the road, right? You can have all the best intentions, but without a plan to, like, guide your actions and help you stay focused, it's so easy to get sidetracked.
It's like having a roadmap for your motivation.
Yeah.
Okay, this brings us to one of the most insightful points from Good Life Goals: the power of small wins.
Oh, I love this topic. Tell me more. Tell me more. But okay, small wins. Hit me.
Right. So the Good Life Goals blog post, it dives into the psychology behind breaking down goals into these smaller, more manageable tasks.
Makes sense.
It's all about creating a sense of accomplishment and,
Yeah.
like, getting that immediate feedback, which can be so motivating, especially when you're working towards a larger, more daunting goal.
Totally. It's so easy to get discouraged when you're only focused on that big, like, far-off goal, you know?
Exactly. But if you can break it down, bite-sized pieces, each step becomes a win.
Yes, a win in itself. Love that.
And it keeps that momentum going. It's like you're constantly feeding your motivation, these little bursts of accomplishment, instead of waiting for that one big payoff that might be months or even years away.
Oh, years. No thanks.
Right. And this isn't just some, like, feel-good theory either. We see this idea validated in the Reddit thread too. A lot of those ENTJs mentioned that focusing on short-term projects really helped them stay motivated. It helped them avoid getting, like, bogged down by the enormity of their long-term goals.
That makes total sense when you, like, think about the ENTJ personality type.
Oh, yeah, they're all about strategy.
Right. They're known for being so strategic, action-oriented, and driven by results, for sure. Like, they thrive on structure, efficiency, so naturally they gravitate towards a system that has, like, clear milestones, that consistent sense of progress.
They're, like, wired for small wins.
Right. It aligns perfectly with, like, their cognitive functions.
Yeah.
And you know what else Good Life Goals emphasizes? This was really interesting to me, self-recognition.
Oh, I love that.
They talk about celebrating every good job done, no matter how small.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in what we haven't achieved yet, and then we forget to acknowledge how far we've come.
100%.
We're so focused on just checking off the next thing, the next thing, the next thing on the to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take the time to, like, appreciate, what we've already done.
It's like we're always running this race, but we never stop to enjoy the view.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, you ready for that surprising connection I teased earlier?
Oh, yeah. Remind me, what was that?
The one between a self-help book and real estate investing.
Okay, yes. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Okay, so both Good Life Goals and that Reddit thread, they touch on the value of, like, diverse sources of inspiration and support. It's not about finding that one magic bullet, that one
Yeah.
book, that one mentor, that one strategy.
It's tempting, though, right?
Oh, totally. But it's really about creating this, like, network of resources that you can tap into when you need that extra boost.
I think that's such a crucial point. It's recognizing that different approaches work for different people. And what works for you at one point in your life, it might not work for you later, you know?
Exactly. Like, Good Life Goals recommends The Secret, which is all about cultivating positivity and, the power of visualization. But they also recommend a book by Russell Simmons,
Wait, Russell Simmons,
the entrepreneur,
Yeah.
the co-founder of Def Jam Recordings.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's an interesting combo.
Right. So The Secret, that's like a classic in the self-help genre, right?
Yeah.
It focuses on the law of attraction and, the power of positive thinking. And I haven't actually read Simmons's book, to be honest, but, like, I'm familiar with his work and his journey. He's definitely achieved a level of success and fulfillment that goes beyond just material wealth, I think.
I'd agree with that.
And on the Reddit thread, people were mentioning all sorts of things that help them stay motivated. Some find support in their, like, personal networks. Others turn to motivational podcasts or books. And some even mentioned ADHD medication as a way to, like, manage their focus and executive function.
Wow, that's the beauty of it all, right?
Absolutely.
It's so individual. What works for one person might not work for another. And you know what? There's a really interesting connection here between that Good Life Goals point about building, like, multiple safety nets to
Yeah.
ensure your future, and Simmons's approach to wealth, which is, like, all about diversification.
Ooh, okay, I see it.
It's not just about diversifying your finances, but diversifying your emotional support system,
Yeah.
your sources of inspiration, your overall approach to life, even.
Love it. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And that brings us to another theme that comes up in both the Reddit thread and Good Life Goals, the value of community. The Reddit thread really drives this one home.
Well,
The original poster was clearly feeling stuck, demotivated, and they reached out, right, to their community for advice, and their response, incredible.
really, what did they say?
It was like a master class in ENTJ support, all these like practical, action-oriented tips, encouragement to break down the problem, and reminders, that everyone goes through these periods of low motivation.
I love that. Like, you're not alone.
Right. And I think that that's so powerful. Just knowing that you're not alone can be so motivating in itself. It normalizes the experience. It reminds you, there's no shame in asking for help.
I totally agree. And you know what? It also connects to what Good Life Goal says about self-care. Sometimes support means, knowing when to step back, take a break, recharge, and come back stronger. And sometimes it means reaching out, right, to your community,
Yeah.
to your tribe,
Yep.
those people who just get you.
Yeah.
And they can offer a fresh perspective or a much-needed dose of encouragement. It's so inspiring to see people support each other, even like in online community.
I know, right?
So as we wrap up this deep dive into staying motivated, I'm curious, what's like one thing that really stuck with you from all these different sources?
That's a good question. You know what really stood out to me? This whole idea that motivation isn't something you just have. It's something you build.
Like a muscle, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And just like any muscle, motivation needs the right fuel. Consistent effort, small wins to keep you going, positive self-talk, to drown out that inner critic we all have, and of course, support from others when you need it. It's all about creating that environment where motivation can actually flourish.
And it's a process, right? It's not going to happen overnight. There will be days in that motivation muscle. It feels, sore, tired, maybe even a little bit weak.
Oh, for sure.
But the key is to just keep showing up, keep putting in the effort, and trust that, it'll get stronger over time.
It will.
Yeah.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. Reach out to your community, lean on your support system. Find those sources of inspiration that really speak to you and celebrate, every step, no matter how small.
Love it. So as you go about your day, I challenge you, think about one small step you can take right now to apply what we've learned. Maybe it's writing down that goal you've been thinking about, or identifying the root cause of a recent slump, or just honestly, just giving yourself credit for a job well done. It doesn't have to be, huge life-altering, just one small step in the right direction.
I love that. One small step, because those small steps, they add up.
They really do. You have the power to build your motivation and thrive, even when faced with the toughest challenges.
That's right. You got this.
That's it for this deep dive on staying motivated. We hope you feel inspired and ready to tackle whatever comes your way.
And remember,
Until next time.
stay curious.
And keep on learning.